Listen, confidence is the Spirit of God. And as you're overcoming the fears and the doubts and the worries, a clear mind will be made for you, and you wouldn't even think of the word confidence because you'd be one with the Father, and there'll be nothing else but that. It's the Spirit of God. Everything else is fake. It's the Spirit of God. And so I want to encourage you all to work on yourself. How many people I asked someone the other day, because I never hear them say they're working on themselves. So I asked them, I said, do you work on, you don't look like you work on yourself. And I asked, are you working on yourself? Yeah. I'm like, well, how are you working on yourself? I was ready for some deep stuff. And they're like, well, when I worry about my work, when I work too much or don't work enough, I'm like, Lord. I'm like, this conversation is over. I didn't pursue it anymore. But confidence is the Spirit of God. And here's what, yes, James? Oh, here's what I want you to do. I mean, do what you want. Suffer and die. Work on yourself. Work on yourself. And working on yourself simply means watching the not self. Watching the not you. That's all you need to do. And do your physical stuff. Go to work, make your dinner, whatever, right? But all you got to do, and believe me, it's a lot of work watching yourself. I told myself one other day, when you walk through the door for one day, remember, be real aware of yourself walking through the door. It didn't last a minute. Watching yourself is a job. All you got to do is to watch the not you. Watch the shyness. Watch the fear. Watch the loneliness. Watch the neediness. Watch the jealousy. Watch the worries. Watch the so-called bravery. Watch the feel-good feeling. Just watch them, and the work is done for you. That's all is required, for you to watch. And the Father will, you already saved. I hate using that word because I don't want to throw you off. The real you is fine. And there are layers and layers. And the Bible said, I die daily. Somebody said that. You want to die daily by overcoming layers and layers of the false self. Really. Overcoming layers and layers of the false self. So in closing, if you catch yourself in that mess, just still watch it anyway. And you'll be afraid, you'll feel fear, you'll feel everything. But tremble and watch it. And in the light that's shining on the devil, deny you, and he will save you from it. Meaning that you will stop identifying with that. And next time you pat, it will be no problem. Yes.
I see glimpses of that, right?
Right.
But I also feel like you're never, even like you and I, in our quest to understand the understanding of the understanding, because that's what we do, right? You're never going to hear the words that you think you're longing to hear from Jesse, because in reality, I don't really think, I think we just have words on a level just to kind of understand something or to give it a picture or a face.
Words are very limited.
Yeah, you don't have the words.
Right. There are no words to express what we're talking about.
You don't. And the reason that you'll say it, I think, the way you say it over and over again, it's like the layers that he's talking about. It's like every time he says it the same exact way, you get a little frustrated, you think you do. Like, I don't understand, you said that already. But has anyone noticed that sometimes after you've heard him say it the same way, the 100th time, all of a sudden a light bulb goes on and you're like, oh.
Yes.
But it's like this much, but you get it?
Yes.
And then you kind of, well, some of us, like me, then you forget it, and then you get it, and then you forget. It's like a yo-yo.
Yes.
But there's never going to be a word to explain God.
That's why you let words go by, because the words cannot explain God.
But that's an addiction too, because that's all we've ever known, words.
Right. Just words. We're addicted to words. And that's why the enemy used words against you in your mind and body, and he used words against you inside of others.
And I
They
think
attack
that's-
you with words.
And I think that's why you say there is no real, I had a glimpse of that when you said that too, once, no twice, again with the twice. I started to see myself like, oh God, because I went through all the church. I was the church. And for some reason, I was able to see, why am I screaming out? What's the point in screaming out? And it wasn't because I was frustrated. I've done that before. What's the point in screaming out? He doesn't hear me. But it wasn't because of that. It was like, what's the point? Because if he already knows,
Yes,
then he already knows. So what am I screaming out to?
absolutely.
They teach you that in church.
We've been trained to scream out to God, to dance and hoop and holler to God. We've been trained that way. And so we're just trained. Last word, man. Last word. Nobody else raise your hand. I'm in this meeting like a white man today.
What she was just saying, that's the silent prayer right there. Like, exactly. All these words, that's why
Yes.
it's silent. Like, that just popped in my head. So.
God revealed to you he's not worthy. And you're right. Words, the words I'm using is just to point you back to where the truth is inside of you. But words cannot explain God. Words cannot explain real life. Like let go, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that really mean, right? So this week, I want for the assignment, I want you to notice the mind repeats itself all the time, and that it's all about you. Just for 1 week, notice that. Next week, I want to hear some testimonies about that, some talk about that. But watch your mind and see that it's all about you. And then when you see that it's all about you, it's going to tell you that it's not about you, but it is about you. So, and we have a brand new biblical question, and that is, Hake.
Why are you afraid of negotiating?
Why are you afraid of negotiating? Isn't that a good one?
That's a great one.
I see busy minds right now. Busy mind. That, and I'll tell you next week why I asked that question. I'll tell you next week. Last word.
Thank you.
Amazing. And so that's a biblical question. This week, the Women's Forum. It's the third Thursday night, I think, right? Already. What the? And it's going to be a doozy because we're getting tough this year. We're not playing around. So at 7 p.m. every third Thursday night for the ladies only at 7 o'clock. And we'll reach a super chat tomorrow. Thank you for your support, for your donation, tithes, and all that. But work on yourself, folks. Stay with you. And you're going to have an amazing life. And a lot of this crazy stuff you've been doing will stop. You'll be able to save money, you'll save time and everything. It will change naturally. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you all. We had church today. I appreciate it. You can give that mic to...